Okay, hello. Sorry, I had to like figure out what I wanted to title my stream, and that took me like at least like 2 minutes. I feel like I never mentioned this. Well, I feel like this like streaming is my outlet to mention goofy things. I got a boom boom stick. It's like this like menthol thing. You like snort it, and it like clears your sinuses. It's so fucking cool. But every time I do it, it makes me sneeze. Like 100% of the time. It's great for clearing out my very weird sinuses. Also, I have a weird kombucha drink, which I'm going to be drinking. Just to like pretend I'm a little bit of a health nut, which I'm not. I don't really remember specifically where we left off. I know I read 2 chapters, which is actually really good. I was really happy I read that much. And I streamed on the 16th, so let's keep chilling. The Book of the Single Truth was sealed in crystal by Battler. Until the... Wait. Am I in the right spot? I should double check. 4:34 p.m. That does sound right. Yeah, I think I'm good. Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah. Oh, what is that? This is some Library of Babel shit. What the fuck? Was sealed in crystal by Battler. Until this seal is undone, I can't even stick the key in the keyhole. You can remove this, right? Of course. This is very Library of Babel. They were in a vast, dimly lit space. To sum it up in a phrase, it was like a trench in the ocean floor. No, that's not quite right. It was a library. However, the number of books and the height of the shelves vastly surpassed all of those that existed in the world of humans. If height is the measure of greatness, then the gods must surely be giants taller than mountains. This place appeared to be a library big enough and grand enough for such gods. Each individual book was no larger than those from the... This is so Library of Babel coded. What the fuck? Tell me about the hexagons. Mr. What's the name of the... Ryukishi. I always get him and I think the guy who made My Hero mixed up. I think his name is Horikoshi. Yeah, I get them mixed up. Each individual book was no larger than those from the human world. However, the shelves holding them stood like the walls of a valley, or rather a deep-sea ocean trench. So, Angie and the others looked like little more than a few small butterflies who had wandered into this vast library. Like minuscule deep-sea fish swimming about all alone in an ocean pit. This is more like ice than a seal. If you just steal it away from Battler and put it under the rays of the sun, it will fade away by itself as time passes. Isn't there just some way to smash it open? Do you thaw your frozen fish by smashing it with a hammer? Sorry, I was terrible, always terrible in cooking class. Kitties, thaw this seal. When Burncastle whispered from the dark ocean pit deep below them, several emerald green glints appeared and gathered like a school of fish. Burncastle threw the Book of the Single Truth down to them, and only after several seconds passed, the school of fish seemed to gather around it and carry it away. Those few seconds made it clear just how deep this bookshelf trench went. Angie was once again dumbfounded by this unimaginably vast and godly library. We can just let them handle the rest. And you really will let me see what's inside? They have the same fucking voice. What the fuck? If that is your wish, I'll grant it. Of course, I won't be able to read it myself without that key of yours. Angie silently gripped the golden key in her pocket. This journey has been so long and so strange. In search of the truth from 12 years ago, I left my home, met President Nokonogi, met Amakusa, and at some point, that adventure became wrapped in the illusion of the witch. However, here I am. Ushirimiya Eva's diary is here. The truth inside it is sitting right before me. Rest for a while. Even I don't have enough free time to spend it all with you. Well, I'm not really tired. Erica, serve Angie some tea or something. Yes, my master. Erica popped into existence out of nowhere and bowed to her master. Castle. If you're planning to use me to steal both the key and the book, you won't get off that easily. How dare you say such a thing to my master? Sorry. After my long experience with witches, I've decided not to trust normal words. Very well. I'll promise it with the red truth. When the seal on the book of the single truth is dissolved, you, Angie, will be the first to read it. Is that good enough for you? For some time, Angie considered the witch's words, searching for some sort of trap hidden within them. There's no guarantee greater than a witch's red truth. Angie understood this well enough. If she started to doubt even this red truth, there would be nothing left to trust in this entire world. If she began to suspect even this, then even the truth would no longer be truth. Is there something more you want? No, I'm fine. If she wanted to read the book of the single truth, she would need Berncastle's assistance. Angie finally realized that she had nothing to gain by complaining more and annoying this witch further. Once you've dissolved the barrier, call me right away. Of course. I also want to read it as soon as possible. I'll call for you at once. Bern spun away from them, then vanished into the dark bookshelf trench. Angie saw a school of emerald green fish appear and follow behind Berncastle. Could those be her familiars? As she started at the emerald lights that resembled some sort of deep-sea fish, Angie was poked from behind. By what? Let's go. Comrade Angie. You're creeping me out, so please just call me Angie. Then you can call me Erica-sama. Let's get going, Comrade Erica. Oh, so she gets to call her comrade. Okay, that's fine. The pair began to swim in the direction Erica indicated. Swim seemed to be a better word for it than fly. Just what is this place? It's way too big to be called a library. It's not like you'll be able to remember its name, so why not just call it the library? Let's decide what I can and can't remember. Tell me. It's the Great Witch of Theater going, drama, and spectating's noble city of carefully selected books. Yeah, the library works fine. You'd say that. I imagine them doing like some goofy ass, what's that? Oh, what's the name of that swimming technique? I don't know. The City of Books. Yeah, the name fits. The bookshelves on either side of this canyon are skyscrapers. I feel like this has an interesting parallel to just the cities in general, like where Angie jumped. which to me seems to be a very important scene because it's called back to all the time. Is this idea that of Angie's, like, I mean, it was an attempted suicide. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna get like any sort of restriction for saying it. That's what it reads to me to be. If I think of those emerald green lights glowing beneath us as headlights on a highway, then this really does seem like a city of books. These aren't normal books, are they? That's right. Each volume is packed with an ensemble play. They look like books from here, but if you open one up, you'll find a whole world inside. So even our long tale is only one of these. Great witches who live on a far, far higher plane than we do are hardly any different from a creator or god. From their perspective, our little tale is worth little more than a single book, if it's even worth that. From a theatergoer's perspective, our individual lives are hardly worth anything at all. If they're recording an entire world in a single volume, then my life probably isn't even worth a single line. But we're the main characters. I am, and so are you. That's right. Even if the tale of the gods doesn't mention us, we're always the main characters in the stories we write for ourselves. Becoming aware of that is the first thing that separates witches from humans. They were on a balcony, which was really a room-sized section that had been dug out of the bookshelf. With no guardrail along the cliff. It didn't go very deep, so it looked like a room that had been cut in half. It was filled with tools of everyday life, as though it was Erica's hidden house. Ew. Welcome to my crib. My masters ordered me to serve you some tea, so if you don't feel like drinking, I'll have to pour it into you with a funnel. If you try, I'll have to serve you some matcha. Matcha? Nothing, just talking to myself. Ignoring Erica as she made tea, Angie looked down upon the bizarre, otherworldly scene below. Until Erica finished getting the tea ready, the scene held Angie's gaze like it was sucking out her soul. This might sound strange coming from me. What? You actually made a deal to throw away your life to learn the truth, huh? That's impressive. I had nothing to gain from life. It was easy for me to trade away the time I had left. My master really does take to idle whims. To think she would make a contract for the meaningless life of a powerless girl. Angie chuckled, not bothering to argue. That was exactly right. How incredible that Burncastle would lend her power to a worthless life that was trying to throw itself away. Well, my master is the witch who controls miracles, so it makes sense that she'd appear even for a worthless girl like you. Good point. Even if Burncastle hadn't appeared, I still would have taken that step off the edge that day. You really are a cheap and easy woman, aren't you? Well then, just how much are you worth? Me? The way Erica cackled was disturbing. Still, Angie realized that this was her way of answering the question. People don't become witches of their own choosing. If they're capable of living, all people want to live their lives as humans. When something comes along to trip up that life, that's when the road to living as a witch opens. Even Furudo Erica, who calls herself the Witch of Truth, must be like this. The two witches of truth, sitting here drinking tea without even looking at each other, are exactly the same. I like exposing the truth. I know that. I feel like exposing secrets, then watching those people turn pale as they wonder how I figured it out. That's when I know I've reached the truth. It's a moment of ecstasy. There's something seriously wrong with you. Well then, what does truth mean to you? Angie is about to give an immediate answer, but she bit back her words. Then she gulped, not knowing how to respond. After all, to Angie, the truth itself was the goal. At first, it was out of hatred. Could Ushiramiya Eva, the sole survivor of Rokunjima, be the culprit behind everything? She hated Eva, but she had no proof that her aunt was the culprit. And of course, Eva never talked about what happened on that island. So at first, the truth meant proof that Eva was the culprit in Angie's eyes. However, that feeling withered away with Ava's death. Now that Ava was dead, even if Angie did find some kind of proof, it wouldn't mean anything. So eventually, the truth Angie wanted to find became nothing more than the simple desire to know what had happened on the island that day. However, one thing was obvious. Even if she did find out the truth, that wouldn't bring any of her family back to her. It might not mean anything at all. You're going to expose some truth your beloved Oni-chan is hiding, even though it's meaningless? You're the one who's not making sense. Erica laughed mockingly. Angie laughed too, as though she agreed. And so, my own truth became my goal. Maybe you could even call it my reason for living. So, once you do reach the truth, there won't be any point or purpose to you living anymore, right? That's right. So I'll die. Hasn't it been long enough? I've already lived 12 years too long. Don't I at least deserve to have a witch appear and grant my wish in my final moments? Or, to put it simply, you're just tired of life. Does that sum it up? Yeah. So both my reason for living and my very existence are completely meaningless. That's why this goal of finding the Book of the Single Truth has put a little spark back into my life, now that it's nearly over. At least on that score, I'm grateful to Burncastle. I see. Battler wants you to live, so he hit the goal line that would lead you to death. I think I pity Battler-san for the first time. After all, you can't choose your little sister. Sorry, Oni-chan. I'm tired of life. For 12 whole years, I've been living off nothing but the illusion that someone might come home someday. Just let me find peace already. Also, I think it's cool. I mean, maybe this is just me being too much of an Umineko numerologist, but I love how the, Angie spent twice as long as Shannon to wait for people to return. So she's really fucked. Finding the truth of that day is how I've chosen to mark the end of my life. For 12 years, I've believed in a miracle, but there was no miracle. I won't believe in miracles anymore. The Book of the Single Truth, huh? Of course, I'm also dying to find out what's in it. But from what I hear, it doesn't sound like the truth inside is something spectacular enough to mark the end of your life with. Yeah. At first, I hoped there would be something earth-shattering in it, but now I've calmed down, I guess you could say. Any truth searched for by a worthless person is bound to be worthless. It'll probably make for a fitting end to your worthless life. Yeah, I'm sure it will. Angie was already starting to realize something. Regardless of Ava's reason for staying silent, the real events of that day probably weren't anything earth-shattering. Some sort of malfunction made the bomb in that secret underground base explode. Yes, it was just an accident. But the public already believed that some sort of conspiracy surrounded the events of that day, so that's what they expected. Ava was a suspect herself, so of course no one would believe her claim that nothing strange happened. Naturally, Angie didn't believe her either. In that case, shutting up like a clam would be better than the alternative. It was hardly surprising that Ava chose to say nothing. Right now, I don't feel any sense of accomplishment. I just feel sort of worn out and listless. Being able to withstand the truth is what makes someone a witch of truth, Comrade Angie. It looks like you don't possess that strength after all. If you did, you wouldn't be thinking about dying. You're right. I've dreamed that someone might come back for 12 years. I've just used Beatrice's cat box to shut away the truth, denying it for all that time. When you read the Book of the Single Truth, I wonder what'll happen to you. Who knows? Won't Burncastle carry out the contract by slicing my head off with a scythe or something? Or will I be turned into chunks of meat again? Maybe I'll get some salt and pepper this time. I see, so that's where the chunks of meat thing came from. Did you say something? No, nothing at all. Anyway, would you like some more tea? No, thank you. Angie listlessly gazed down from a balcony with no handrail, down into the darkness of the abyss at the bottom of the bookshelf ravine. No, the gap between the bookshelf skyscrapers. From the beginning until the end of my journey, I haven't taken a single step away from this spot. This journey of mine, not even a single step long, will end soon. Oh wow, I was clever to notice the parallels there. Okay. Or at least clever enough. What are those lights? Lines of lights flowing around at the bottom. Oh, those? Probably a group of guests coming to the great Lady Aurora's party. Guests? Oh, wait a minute! Are they gonna be... I thought they were gonna be some of the Oshira Miyas who had, like, escaped with the help of Lambda. Great witches from the Senate. Voyager witches who were trying to escape boredom in their endless travels. Powerful witches who have woken from century-long sleeps, as well as witches who control the future world and noble witch hunters. It seems she's planning to hold a grand party tonight. What, is it a birthday party or something? From what I've heard, well, the great Lady Beatrice, the Endless Witch, is an outsider among witches. She's also the genius who created Beatrice's cat box out of her formidable magic compendium, an endless factory capable of producing endless tales. From my point of view, she's just stupid and weak and a weak finisher, but in the world of great witches, she's apparently pretty famous. So this is Beatrice's birthday party? My master said she'd be holding a dinner party with Beatrice's guts. After all, it's only natural, right? The cat box is only able to generate infinite tales because there was no single truth. However, tonight, the single truth will be revealed, thanks to your key. And that means the cat box will be open. Really, it's no different from slicing open her chest as she still lives and tearing out what's inside. Everyone in that huge crowd that looks like a packed freeway is going to one dinner party? I'm not sure what's stronger, my shock at how famous Beatrice is, or my revulsion at those sleaze bags. For you, the Book of the Single Truth is nothing more than an end. However, for all those enjoying the mystery of Rokenjima, this is an event that can't be missed. I see. So that's a crowd of goats who are chewing Oni-chan's game board apart. Angie's analogy was an accurate one. The crowd far, far below them was made up of nobles wearing beautiful outfits and goat masks. They were all so intent on tearing the guts out of Beatrice's cat box that they couldn't even hide the drool trickling from their mouths. Those gluttonous goat nobles, who derived pleasure from the violin of exposing the truth. The violence of exposing the truth. We're in a line of cars heading towards the meeting place. Looks like this is an end for Beatrice and the cat box. Beato and the others have holed up in the Golden Land, the last remnants of the game board. Battler and Beato have strengthened their defenses and have okay, that's what happened. They went to the Golden Land. Have strengthened their defenses and have destroyed the first wave, but they won't be able to stop the second. My master has given me an armada capable of destroying the very concept of defensive measures. The Golden Land's ramparts are as good as gone. Those goats who appeared all over the island, they're the personification of random opinions in the future, and all of them want the island's tale to be a tragedy. That's right. The goats keep getting born from the sea of the internet. That first wave was just the riffraff. The second wave will be entirely different. It's made up of the best, elite goats selected from the crowd that are capable of denying all the cowering pieces one by one. In total, they number in the hundreds of thousands. 100,000 people to deny the existence of a few dozen hiding on an island. Looks like this is it for Oni-chan, too. Are you sure you're ready? You understand that Ushiramiya Battler died in 1986, and that this man is an illusion created by the cat box? Yeah. I understand. Regardless of whether he's my real brother or an illusion, regardless of whether he's who I'd like him to be or not, the Battler who created this game board for my sake will die. No, I'm just going to accept the fact that he already was dead. So it's not like he's actually going to die. Angie thought to herself, shouldn't performing her brother's last rites be her responsibility? This was her final trial, which she had assigned to herself. All of those people down on the game board were the personification of Angie's naivete. By denying the existence of all of them, wouldn't she finally be able to accept the truth? No, that's not right. I'm not being honest, even with myself. That bizarre Halloween party may have been an illusion, but it didn't make it any less heartwarming. Oni-chan said it himself. True, that Halloween party may have been an illusion. However, he was trying to use that party to tell me something. About that second wave. My master has appointed me to be their commander. Leave it to me, Angie-san. My master isn't so malicious that she'd make you dirty your own hands. Yes, that might be kind of her. These are my lingering attachments we're talking about. I should be grateful to Burncastle. If she really were cruel, she would probably have ordered me to take charge of the second wave and execute my own family. Comrade Angie, you're a witch of truth, aren't you? I keep right-clicking. I don't know why. That's right. Probably. Then accept the truth, okay? Finally, after 12 years, the single truth lies before you. I'll just sit around here until Burncastle breaks the seal. You'll probably be summoned as a guest for the party. We've got a mirror, so maybe you should wipe the sleep from your eyes. And maybe you should shave before... Whoa! That is rude as hell, Angie! Damn! Is she saying that you have a fucking mustache? Damn! What the fuck? That's freaking vicious of her to say. What is up with all these freaking places now? These settings are getting more and more, like, fantastical. It floated there in the empty air. The door to the... Whoa, wait, the door to the Golden Land? Pause! This is the door to the Golden Land? At its base, there was nothing except some floor tiling about as thick as a rug, so it was fairly hard to imagine that this was Kinzo's study. By this point, all of the game board except the Golden Land had been eaten away, leaving only this door floating in a sea of nothingness. There were two shapes in front of that door. They were Battler and Beato. Oh, I love them. They may not have been literally covered with wounds, but they definitely seemed to be dead tired. Battler, leaning against the door, seemed to have finally caught his breath. Beato was also sitting against the door, letting her legs dangle gracelessly. Could the battle against that force really be called a battle? It was more like a mere pushing contest on the increasingly small bit of ground that remained. They had wanted to protect at least Kinzo's study no matter what. And the only fruit of their desperate struggle was the thin bit of flooring that they were sitting on now. Those goats fell into the abyss whenever they had nowhere to stand. So now, with so much of the floor gone, there was no way for them to attack anymore. If Battler thought this, his naive hopes were quickly crushed. Looks like we're surrounded. They probably plan to gather their forces and crush us in a single stroke. What? Pirate Captain Furudo Erika? Okay, that's whatever. Umineko episode 8 is getting a little weird. Stretching across the ocean horizon that surrounded the door at their backs was an encirclement of countless large sailing ships. As they could clearly see, the decks of those ships were packed with goats, with some of the more foolish and overeager ones spilling over the edges into the emptiness below like lemmings. Dang. I've gone through a lot of crazy stuff in your games, but being surrounded by pirate ships is definitely a first for me. They probably do possess the strength to break through the Golden Land's perimeter. Those cannons are no bluff. Doubtless they will be able to use those to smash through this door and pour in. Along the sides of each ship were several open gun ports, each with a cannon pointing up at the door. If this many ships all around them fired all those at once, there was no point trying to imagine what would happen next. Battler and Beato grimaced and hung their heads. I just unleashed the largest belch of my life on mute. Hell yeah. How long will the Golden Land perimeter hold out against those cannons? I do not know. However, since they are still awaiting reinforcements after amassing that many soldiers, I doubt the barrier will break that easily. True. I can't think of any other reason to delay your attack without even sending terms for surrender. I hope we can take advantage of this time they gave us. Time is always the ally of the weaker side. After all, we can always hope for a miracle. Though it might just lead us further into despair. At that moment, something small and hard hit Battler in the forehead. Ow! What the heck is this? Konpei too? I had to Google that, I'm sorry. Konpei to. Traditional Japanese sugar candy characterized by its small, star-like, and bumpy shape. Okay. I'm gonna say Lambda. Yes! Let's fucking go! That was the biggest freaking pull of all time. I freaking knew Lambda. It's me! I know we're burning the others are. The candy was Lambda Delta's transformed body? She was the only one of their allies capable of crossing the Sea of Fragments. Oh, spectacular. That's the great Lady Lambda Delta for you.
They can see us here. Let's talk inside. My candy. This is starting to get messy.
Got it. Is anyone there? I don't even know what the fuck is going on at this point. Oh my god. When Battler knocked on the door, it opened, and Shannon and Cannon came into view. You called for us? My apologies, but we need you two to keep a lookout. Leave it to us. When they begin their attack, don't worry about fighting them. Escape to the Golden Land as soon as they start. Don't worry about closing the door. But that means they're planning to ignore the door and smash the Golden Land directly. Making a last stand here won't do anyone any good. I understand. We'll take care of things here, so go inside and work on a counterattack. We shall. We're counting on you. Man, crazy how there was only one person amongst those three. Battler and Beato traded places with Shannon and Cannon and returned to the Golden Land. A gentle rain poured down over the Golden Land's rose garden. The weather here reflected the hearts of those inside it. The quietly falling raindrops spoke for the pain felt by those who could do nothing but hide here, waiting for the enemy's final assault. When they returned to the arbor, that piece of compéto flew out of Battler's pocket, jumped onto the table, and returned to its original form. I haven't had a thrill like this for years. Hard to believe I'd find myself in such a tense situation even after becoming a witch. Let's get down to business. Where the heck are Angie and Burncastle? They're in the City of Books. I've heard of it. They say it's a place where great witches, travelers of the sea, store countless fragments in the form of books. You mean the great witches of theater-going, drama, and spectating's noble city of carefully selected books, yes? The great Lady Aurora is the ruler of the City of Books. Indeed, that would be a fitting place for those two to go. Nice going, Lady Lambda Delta. Hard to believe you could pick out that spot so quickly from all the other possible hiding places. Actually, it was pretty easy. I didn't even have to search, since they're advertising it as loud as they can. They're planning a huge party to celebrate the announcement of a great secret. The secret to the great cat box of the great Lady Beatrice, the Endless Witch. I see, they haven't been delaying their attacks because they await reinforcements, but because the party has not yet begun. So in this party, they plan to use Angie's key to reveal the contents of the Book of the Single Truth. You've got it. Aurora hasn't held an event like this for ages, and she's gathering VIP guests from all over the place. The Book of the Single Truth will probably be the party's final showpiece. It means we still got a shot at taking Angie and the key back. Time-wise, that may be true. However, there's a really simple and obvious problem. What? The City of Books is a sacred realm under the supervision of the Senate. It's protected by a holy barrier. Only a witch of the Senate can enter it. Have they invited any non-senators to the party? They have. It looks like they have been given special invitations, which allow them to enter the sacred realm for a limited time. Invitations. My, now this could be interesting. That's what I thought. However, there's a strict policy on punctuality, so these invitations automatically become useless unless you present them before the party begins. I'm afraid to say that the party started a short while ago. In other words, it's too late to try stealing an invitation from a guest who's running late. That's right. So what do we do now? Oh, could someone get me some popcorn? I'd like the candy flavor this time. As an outsider, I hate to barge in on the conversation, but we seem to have no options left. We're already done for, aren't we? Can't we do anything but except sit here until they attack? There must be something we can do. It's so weird seeing all like the Ashira Miyas like participate in this freaky witch shit. That's right. There's just one thing we can do. What's that? Oh wait, what's that? We can keep on struggling for each second of survival and hope for a miracle. A miracle? So we're stuck defending the Alamo. Surrender isn't an option. We can only hold out as long as we can, waiting for a miracle. Are you? I'm gonna hit my fucking boom boom stick again. This is gonna be fucking awesome. My nose is still very stuffy. I'm still a little sick. I wish it would pick up on the mic. It doesn't fucking pick up on the mic. I'm trying to do it so it picks up on the mic, but no. That does in fact open my sinuses though. So whatever. Are you? Oh, what kind of miracle? There's a chance, like maybe 1 in a million, that Angie will change her mind for some reason and come back. With a probability such as that, it would truly be a miracle. We are here to await Angie-san's return.
Yes. This right here is the only place Angie-san can call home. So we must defend it to the last minute. Waiting for her to come back.
Could you imagine if the end of Umineko is actually like Angie opens the fucking like room behind the cathedral and it's just a bunch of like 20-year-old like super like long bearded like haggard looking people, like they all haven't left, like for some reason they just spent 20 years hiding and they're 12 years hiding in the fucking Golden Land. And there's just like some crazy mass psychosis. Awaiting the return of one's master is a servant's duty. I'm Goda, and I have a new voice today. Now that we are here, I, Goda, am prepared for whatever may come. I love you, Goda. I love giving you a new voice. Battler-sama, all of us are prepared.
We of the Chester Sisters Imperial Guard will fulfill our oath and remain by the great Lady Beatrice's side until the bitter end.
Hell yeah.
45 here, no problems. I will fight until the end. And finally, a fitting place to die. Yeah. No problems from 410, yeah.
The 7 Sisters of Purgatory will stay with Beatrice-sama and Battler-sama until it's all over. The 6 younger sisters also showed their resolve within their eyes. Eisene Jungfrauen. Isn't the plural? Wouldn't the plural be the Eisene Jungfrauen? It's like how the German word for plural actresses is like Schauspielerinnen. Like stuff like that. We'll serve until the end. The former SSVDs got your back too. And I ask that you lend us your power as well. Me? No way. Didn't I just give you some excellent intel? I think I've done more than my fair share, don't you? How do you know that Angie-chan is in the City of Books? I saw her with my own eyes, of course. I never trust anything unless I see it for myself. Which means that you're qualified to enter this sacred realm called the City of Books, right? Indeed. The great Lady Lambda Delta is a witch of the Senate, after all. Lambda Delta. What's with you guys?
You're gonna tell me to do more work, are you?
My, what an unexpected development. Lady Lambda Delta is the only one who can enter the City of Books. Could that possibly mean?
I love when they do this.
This is the Lady Lambda Delta's time to shine.
Enough kidding around already. Are you people crazy? You're telling me to go all by myself and sneak into there one more time and then bring Angie back out here?
The several dozen people surrounding Lambda Delta all nodded in unison.
How stupid can you be? If I shave Angie, I'll be crashing the Great Aurora's party, get it? I'd have the whole world as my enemy. And what's in it for me? Nothing, obviously. There's nothing you could possibly offer me that would be worth getting on the bad side of Aurora and her monster friends.
You'll get to see a happy ending where Aurora and Burncastle's schemes are crushed. Angie comes back and everyone makes peace with one another. What do you say, Lady Lambda Delta? There could be no greater thrill. If you pulled off such a marvelous feat, you would be able to forget your illness for 1,000 years. Would you not?
We're begging you, Lambda. Lend us your power.
Please, please, we're begging you. Help us save Angie. Everyone surrounded Lambda Delta, asking for her help. They wrote this for me. They wrote this scene for me. Please, Lady Lambda Delta. Only you can do this. Give us your strength. I'll show you the greatest of tales, and you'll get to see it from the front row. So please, lend us your strength.
Shut up! Shut the hell up!
I want to keep crashing out as Lambda Delta. Please stop. Lambda Delta leapt to her feet and crushed the cup of popcorn in her hands. Sweet, candy-flavored popcorn flew all over the place, hitting everyone in the face. It might have looked funny. However, no one laughed. Lambda Delta's face was filled with a rage that none of them had seen before.
Please stop getting the wrong idea. I'm a spectator. I'm just a guest who was invited by Beato to come and watch this game. So why should I risk my life for you people? You think you'll get a happy ending if Angie comes back? You really that stupid? Byrne and her forces will come sweeping through here, mad with rage, and wipe us all out. There's only one reason I'm here. And that's because Leon over there said I'd get to see an interesting show.
Yeah, and now I'm sure I'll get to see a sublimely interesting tale very soon.
I haven't done Deep Lambda in a while. Damn. How long have they deprived me of deep voice Lambda Delta when only specifically she makes that face?
A sad, sad tragedy as you fight desperately against Byrne's forces and get wiped out one by one. Oh, I'm sure you'll each get one last time to shine as you're torn apart.
If I just wait a little longer, I'll get to see all that, won't I? Pretty soon, all of you will be dead. But not me. I'm a spectator, I guess. There's absolutely no reason for me to die with you.
What? No one was able to say a word. In the still silence, where there was no sound except that of the rain, even Lambda Delta finally hung her head in dismay. I'm sorry. I'm totally lame, aren't I? Sure, if I stood up right now and said, leave it to me, my popularity would surge and I'd probably make it into the top 3 in the next character rating contest. But still, unlike the rest of you, I'm not a character who appears in the story. I can't die.
It's like it's midnight, and you're telling me that the climax of the show is coming up next. But tomorrow's Monday, and I've got early cleaning duty at school. We live in completely different worlds. And so, Lambda Delta staggered as though dizzy, then plopped down into a chair. No. Then she became expressionless, like a doll, just staring at a single point in space silently. Sorry. Battler softly apologized. However, Lambda Delta remained expressionless. It's not fair for us to force you to risk something on your own. Not when we haven't exhausted all of our options. Ellipses. We'll fight here and defend this spot until the last moment. We'll believe in the miracle of Angie choosing us over the single truth. If we weren't prepared to do that, we could hardly ask you to give up your life along with the rest of us. Battler rose from his seat and span around. Battler. I'm waiting for my tears. This shit is sad. This is like some really good Umineko. It's so different than everything else. It's such its own thing. I'll switch places with the pair outside. When the enemy comes, I want to be in the front lines. That's the fastest and most direct way I can show Lambda Delta my determination. I shall go as well. Teacher, please find Lady Lambda Delta some more popcorn. Beato. I know Angie will return. Without belief, even miracles that might have occurred will not. You can't win a lottery unless you buy a ticket. Beato also stood up and followed Battler. Everyone, let's do what we can to prepare for the fight. Yeah, it'd be stupid just to sit around here doing nothing. Whoa, they got guns? Okay.
Good point. Let's give them a good show at the end.
We've got to make sure there's a place Angie-chan can call home.
We should hold a strategic conference, too.
Why did I read her like that? What the fuck? Yeah. We have furniture, weapons, demons, and inquisitors on our side. There's got to be some way for these mismatched forces to cooperate. Not to mention humans. Let's go, little sisters. Break time is over. G-Star troops, rise! The humans and illusions all rose to their feet and left the arbor. Afterwards, only Lambda Delta remained, still staring blankly at a point in empty space. Come on, Lambda! Come on, Lambda! Give a fuck! That black tea smells nice. Is it instant or from a tea bag? Oh, that's... okay. That's Ava Beatrice. Oh, would you like some too, Comrade Ava? We're out of cups, so you'll have to use a funnel. A gold butterfly drifted onto the balcony and turned into Ava. How's Burncastle doing? Will it be a while longer before she breaks the seal on the book of the single truth? That's what I came to talk about. Oh wait, that was Angie. How's Burncastle doing? Will it be a while longer before she breaks the book on the seal on the book of the single truth? God, that is such a freaking word salad. The seal on the book of the single truth. That's what I came to talk about. She says the seal has been broken. Congratulations, so the time has finally come. The period to mark the end of your life. Take the key and go to Lady Burncastle. One of her cat familiars will guide you.
2 emerald sparkles flew in. They were green. They were the green, glinting eyes of a black cat. The cat flicked its tail elegantly, with the dignity of a high-class attendant. Got it. Then I'll be back in a bed. Angie rose from her seat. She did it casually, as though she really was just heading out for a short trip. However, her lips would probably never touch her half-finished cup of tea again. We weren't together long, but I enjoyed it. Getting to learn what disgust for your own kind is like was an enlightening experience. Same here. Next time we meet, you'll have to teach me the trick to making tea this terrible. Are you happy? Now you'll finally get to learn the secret I've been hiding from you these past 12 years. I'm happy. Yeah, I can understand what Erica feels. It's like I'm taking a shot back at you, exposing the secret that you kept until your death. And is it a good feeling? Well, it's better than nothing. Angie nodded towards the black cat to let it know that she was ready. Why is my fucking... I really need a new plug for my second monitor. This shit is bad. It just keeps, like, flickering. Because I keep, like, not being fully plugged into my monitor. Okay. The cat nodded back in a refined manner, indicated that it wanted Angie to follow, and leapt from the balcony. Without turning back, Angie followed it, jumping out into the air as though swimming. Ava watched her go. An expression of ridicule and scorn failed to cross her face. Good luck, Angie. This is the path you've chosen. You aren't 6 years old anymore. You're 18. Choose how to live your own life. What an overprotective aunt you are. I'm going to go watch the ceremony. What about you? It's almost time to begin the attack, so I'm heading for the ships. I've got to pick up Beato's corpse. Everyone at the party can have her guts, but I get to keep her skin, so let's stuff it and mount it. So, even Rokonjima's tale, which was wrapped in a veil of mystery, is about to meet its end. Which means that it's also the end for you. I mean, you are a piece from there, right? Piece is all I am. The role of a piece is to remain faithful to its role until the game ends. It's not a piece's place to worry about what happens after the game's over. True. It's the same for me. Let's both enjoy this time while we have it. Well then, allow me to take my leave. Later. Good luck with your work. After exchanging elegant bows, the two witches vanished at the same time. Nothing remained except some half-finished teacups and the aroma of the tea itself. I mean, we're like preparing for the final battle here. One after another, luxury cars stopped in front of a high-class hotel in the city, and guests began to step out of them. Hey, Professor Otsuki! Hey, what a surprise! I haven't seen you since the last convention, Nat. All the guests gathered here were very rich and cultured. A single hobby tied them all together. They were witch hunters. Like-minded people who enjoyed exploring various interpretations of the Rokonjima mystery. Still, I wonder if it's really true. To think that this diary of Ushiramiya Ava's actually exists. True, I've heard the rumors myself. This is that legendary secret diary which Ushiramiya Ava hid away just before her death in that. It is said that she recorded the deaths of the Rokonjima's truth in there. Just like that fable of the king with the donkey's ears. Donkeys. Humans are tragic creatures, incapable of keeping truly silent regarding secrets only they could know. Wahahaha. From what I've heard, a collector from Dubai offered to buy it for $10 million. Incredible. More evidence of the fascination that the Rokenjima mystery is capable of stirring. Conversations like this were breaking out passionately all over the place. Furthermore, it wasn't just guests who were allowed to enter. The press was also there in force. The Rokenjima mystery was such a large movement that it became a social phenomenon at one point. Though it had died down slightly in recent years, it was still a topic fiercely debated across the internet. It was hardly any surprise that the discovery and imminent release of Ushiramiya Ava's diary, which contained the truth of that mystery, caused an uproar. And on top of all that, the mysterious forger, Itoi Kukuro, was to appear publicly for the first time. If I remember correctly, Itoi Kukuro is Hachijo Toya. It's like one of her other names. In fact, it seemed that Itoi Kukuro and Hachijo Toya, the up-and-coming mystery novelists were the same person. Of course, this meant that Hachijo Toya would also be appearing in public for the first time. Though she was thought to be a male author, the fact that she was actually a mysterious woman author alone was enough to cause a stir. 'Cause she's a girl. Before the diary unveiling party, a press conference was held in one of the rooms of the hotel. Indeed, I am Hachijo Toya. Madam Hachijo, we now know that in your previous book signings, you were so determined not to show yourself that you even used a body double. So what has caused you to change your mind and appear before us this time? The legend of the Rokenjima witch has given birth to endless tales. Considering the weight of such a legend's demise, and being the mere writer of it I am, I feel obligated to show myself as a sign of respect. As a forger, you announced on the web that you had reached the truth. Does that mean you already read the contents of that diary? And very soon, those contents will be revealed to everyone. Pardon me for asking, but is there any guarantee that the contents of this diary are the truth? One might view it as nothing more than a personal account from a single deceased person. Not at all. I guarantee it. The truth is recorded in this diary. Oh! Ooh! A stir passed through the crowd, and the room was suddenly filled with camera flashes. Yeah, she used red in the real fucking world, supposedly. This ends Madame Hachijo's interview. Allow us to express our deep gratitude towards all members of the press for coming on this day. And now, we would like to move on and allow you to take photos of Madame Ushiramiya Ava's diary. A hotel worker pushed forward a cart covered by a veil. Then, after looking for Hachijo's approval, he removed the veil. There lay Ushiramiya Ava's diary. The book of the single truth sat there, waiting for its seal to be released. Hachijo held it to her chest and laughed enigmatically. Camera flashes came from everywhere, making the book of the single truth glint. And that is all for now. If you would all please move to the assembly hall. Still holding the diary, Hachijo left the press conference room, escorted by men from the hotel, until she went through a door that said, "Authorized personnel only." The journalists continued to surround her and ask questions, hoping to gather just one more comment. When the door slammed shut, the world twisted. The hotel employees became black cats wearing capes. Hachijo had turned into Featherine. Things are getting pretty crazy out there. Did you enjoy it? How tiring. Still, that went well. And yet, this diary truly is heavy. Featherine tossed the diary and Berncastle caught it. I will rest in one of the waiting rooms. We're going to be up again pretty soon. There's no time to rest. In that case, call it a short break so that I can properly enjoy this long-awaited excitement. I need to borrow that book. I promised Angie that I'd show her first. Oh, I see. In that case, do as you please. Featherine left, followed by her cat attendants. After watching her until she was out of sight, Berncastle disappeared as well. I gotta be right back. I have to use the restroom. Oh wait, let's wait a second just while this... Okay, we're good. Be right back. Wait, no, this is not the mute button I normally click. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. Like Erica's room, Berncastle was a balcony without a handrail. Dug out on a bookshelf cliff. Angie had kept waiting for some time, but she had waited patiently, looking down at the world below her. I'm late, aren't I? Sorry about that. After Berncastle appeared, the black cats gave a bow and vanished. Here you go. I brought it with me. The Book of the Single Truth. Can I touch it? Do as you like. Bernkastel set it on the table and beckoned Angie forward. Slowly, Angie approached it. There's gotta be some sort of trick here. I just don't trust Bernkastel. So this is Aunt Ava's diary. That's right. Inside it, you'll find the single truth that you wanted. You do have the key, right? Yes, right here. Angie took the key out, looked at it there on her palm, then gripped it tightly. Even the heavy lock that held the diary so securely was fated to be swept aside easily as soon as Angie readied herself. I won't rush you. You don't have to open it until you're ready. This includes the truth of what happened at midnight on October 5th, 1986, right? Yes. It is everything that you wanted to know so much you offered up your life. In that instant, two Angies appeared inside her, taking control of her body at the same time. On the one hand, she knew that she had already paid a great price to learn the truth. This part of her gripped the key, wanting to avoid a second of hesitation that might lead her to refuse to learn the truth now. At the final moment, with the book of the single truth right before her. On the other hand, a feeling as though she was betraying the brother and family who watched over her warmly made her bite her lower lip. I thought it was going to be my choice. I thought I was going to have to choose this. But I mean, I'm going to choose the correct choice. I'm not opening the fucking book of the single truth. All those people are probably dead. Nobody's coming back. But that's okay. However, though she shook, she could do nothing but watch as her right hand slowly brought the key towards the lock. What am I hesitating for? Inside this diary is the final destination of my sad, painful, 12-year-long journey. Wasn't 12 years enough? Do I want to keep living that way? That brother is an illusion created by my heart. My naive hope that a miracle might still occur. If I put my two options on a scale, then the path I should choose is clear. Slowly, I pushed the key into the lock and twisted. The lock opened with a click, and at the same time it felt though a crack ran through the key in my hands. Maybe a part of that intricate design had fallen off. I couldn't tell where it was broken just by glancing at it. However, for some reason, its golden glint seemed dulled somehow. It's because you've made your choice with that key. A bit of magic has disappeared. Kind of magic. Didn't Battler tell you? He said that you couldn't hand that over to anyone else. That magic, which left the decision to you, has just fulfilled its role and disappeared. The key is just a key now. I can't do anything but lock and unlock that diary. I see. Then I guess I have no more use for Oni-chan's key. Can I have it? Once you've read the diary, I'll lock it up again. Opening that lock will now be a big part of tonight's ceremony, it seems. I see. Do whatever you want. I don't give a damn what happens after I find the truth. Bernkastel slid the key from where it lay on the table and put it into her pocket. Go ahead, then, before the courage that led you here fades. I lifted up Aunt Ava's now unlocked diary. The lock was unset. Even the hinge had been released by now. Nothing stands in the way of me opening to the pages within. I thought of taking a deep breath. However, I decided against it. I prepared myself for this long ago. It'd be so stupid to fuel my reluctance further. Am I just gonna figure out what happened? I feel like they're all fucking dead. I opened it. Violently, ruthlessly. I knew that this was the right way to open to the pages that held the truth. As soon as the cover was opened, a brilliant light poured out, and my mind went hazy. The truth was sent to my mind directly, without letters or words. Tell me what happened that day on Rokenjima. What happened? My consciousness returned gradually. Nothing was written in the open book before me. Of course, this was my own blank and empty notebook. I was at school, just sitting out idly with my notebook open. The world had stopped. The hands on the clock had stopped too. In that case, the auditorium should have been filled with silence. However, I could hear a small commotion. In this world of suspended time, I could see dark shapes sneaking about in the shadows of the unmoving students. They were students with goat heads. They were sneaking glances at me from behind the frozen students, whispering something to each other. I know. I can hear them. Everybody knows. One after another, students with goat heads grew out of the shadows all over the room. They slipped around. All the students stopped in time and gathered around me. Then they all jeered out something in unison, and as if they knew I could hear, showered me with giggles and gossip and sneers. However, nothing that came from the goat's mouths reached my ears as words. This was a world without letters or words, so no words reached me. However, their emotions and meanings did reach me, so I knew what it was they were saying. And then, when I was able to visualize it, one after another, the goats opened their massive jaws, showing their fangs that dripped with saliva, and came forward to bite me. Time was stopped for me. I was aware, but I could not move. That wasn't literally true. However, I was pretending that I couldn't hear, so I couldn't move. The goats bit me all over my body, leaving their fang marks licking me. Maybe they didn't like the taste of my clothes. Taking advantage of the fact that I couldn't move, they chewed through my clothes one by one. Over and over again, the goats stuck their tongues, their jaws, their fangs into my naked body. I was covered with drool and bitten all over. Bright red teeth marks were left behind as sharp fangs pierced my skin, leaving trails of blood. They licked up that blood like real goats, hurting and humiliating me. As I hung my head, one of the goats pulled on my hair, forcing me to look up, and spoke. They didn't say it with concepts, but with words I could hear. However, they weren't words of the human world. They were a witch's words, in red truth, which signifies truth that is certain. This is the truth of the Rokenjima incident. I won't accept it. It doesn't matter if you accept it or not. This is the truth. After all, beep, beep. I won't accept it. I won't accept a truth like that. So is she reading the truth of what we saw happen with like that whole thing with Rudolph and Kairi killing Hideyoshi, trying to kill Ava? Like, is that actually what happened is my question. What fucking happened on Rokenjima? After all, this is the single truth, proven in red. And the red truth never lies. The red truth The red truth, as in it has been read. As in it's been seen. Who cares about the truth? So stupid, so pointless. I'm the one who gets to decide if that's the truth or not, right? Even if it's the red truth, I won't acknowledge it, won't forgive it, definitely won't accept it. The red truth is absolute. For? It's absolute for you guys, right? Not for me. I won't let you contaminate my truth with yours. Angie, calm down. You're the one who wanted to know, right? My truth is that Aunt Ava's the culprit. Aunt Ava killed everyone. Everything's her fault. Dad and Mom and Oni-chan and all the others are just victims. It's no one's fault. No one's fault. Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. Your aunt will always be by your side, Angie-chan. Yeah, I get it now. I know what you meant. That's right, Aunt Ava. You're the culprit. You're the culprit. It's the world that's messed up and broken for not realizing that. I'm the right one. I'll deny the red truth. Deny the whole world. I see. In that case, try writing a red truth only you can write. But how is it possible for a human to write with red truth? It is possible. There's a red ink that only humans can write with. Angie-san, please calm down. I'm the right one. The world's wrong. I'll write it. The record of with the real red truth. 20. Requesting urgent support on the roof. Angie-san, hold on! Please think this over. Look out! Goodbye, Angie. Have a nice day. I'll write it out. This is my blood red truth. I'll never accept the truth of your world. Oh my god. Jesus. Angie's body went past the edge of the balcony. The air, which she had once been able to swim through, was now completely merciless for some reason. Angie's body plunged straight into the darkness below. Bernkessel just watched the scene play out in silence. Behind her, men in black suits rushed up to the fence, clutching it and screaming. 20! Angie-san just jumped off. Damn, I can't see her from here. Quickly, investigate the ground area. It's no use. There's no way. Maybe she was caught by that safety net. Let's make sure. If you jump straight down from this height, do you really think such a flimsy safety net could possibly save you? As the Witch of Miracles, I, Bernkessel, guarantee that such a miracle certainly won't occur. Angie's body fell from the skyscraper-like bookshelf and slammed against the floor of the City of Books. Looking down from Bernkessel's balcony, which was as high as a skyscraper's roof, did it look like a lovely red pressed flower? No, you couldn't see it at all. Just like how the death of a single lonely girl who rejected the world didn't matter to anyone in the world. She probably died instantly. It was only natural. She had fallen straight down from this height after all. Is it even conceivable that she wouldn't die instantly after something like that? That the index finger on the right hand of her corpse stuck out, as though it was tracing something. Could it be that, by some impossible miracle, she really had escaped an instant death? And could the red blood that had drained from her at the moment of her death have been the ink that drew her own personal red truth? However, no one would be able to tell what she had written. After all, the red blood pouring from her corpse had run over it all. Even this was one of your choices, Angie. Ava was looking down at the beautiful flower of blood radiating from Angie's corpse. I tried to keep you alive. However, you never tried to live in the future that began after the age of 6. And so, after 12 years, you finally returned to where you started. The eyes on Angie's corpse were closed. However, there was no way of knowing if this was a peaceful thing. Eventually, the corpse began to melt away. At the end, it had become a messy lump of flesh with only a few parts recognizable as human. It was hardly surprising. How else would she look after falling from that height and slamming against the asphalt? You managed to die. However, this doesn't mean that everyone will be waiting for you in heaven. After all, you've reached this place by rejecting all those in heaven. See you in hell. No, that's probably where we are right now. So long, Angie. Ah, Ava. Perfect timing. Did you call for me, my master? Clean out this scrap meat for me if you wouldn't mind. I'm going to take this back. In Berncastle's hands were the key, which had lost its magic when Angie made her decision, and the Book of the Single Truth, which had been locked up again. As you wish, my master. After looking down one more time, Berncastle vanished. When she had gone, Ava summoned some cat familiars and ordered them to clean up. The black cat scattered Angie's flesh and scattered limbs and threw them into a tin bucket. Even in this miserable form, Angie's soul was still living. Perhaps living is a poor description. She was unable to die. From now on, forever, she would drift along in the deepest depths of oblivion, covered by the dust of oblivion, until she finally disappeared. She continued to question herself. What did the truth mean to her? What was right, and where was the place she could call home? As her flesh began to cool, even the energy to ask these questions began to fade. Eventually, she would forget her everyday memories and even the reason why she was suffering. However, there was one thing she would never forget. That was the anguish. From this point forth, she would suffer endlessly without even knowing why. By the time the cats finished flinging her corpse into the bucket and dumping it into the sea of nothingness, Angie had even forgotten her own name. Damn, that was... I really personally resonated with that. That's fucked up. What's this sound I keep hearing? Yes, it must be the sound of rain. In that case, what are those two bright lights coming towards me? I don't know. However, they came at me with a screeching sound and stopped right in front of me. A blaring noise came at me over and over. Whatever's shining these bright lights is threatening me. It's probably telling me to get out of the way. However, I was incapable of moving even a finger. There was a sound and a car door opened. Car door. Apparently, I was lying on asphalt under the pouring rain. Umineko no naku koro ni chiru. Nocturne of Truth and Illusions. I'm not going to stop yet, but I don't think I'm going to read 2 chapters tonight. I'm probably just going to go for another 30 minutes and call that it. I saw a shadow, which was apparently the driver, open an umbrella and come towards me. Is this your backyard? The shadow questioned me. Of course, I couldn't answer it. If it is, then I must apologize. Yes, on a day with such fine weather, anyone would want to take a nap in such a lovely backyard as this. And yet, unless my memory fails me... The shadow crouched down and looked into my face. It was a woman. This is a public highway you're sleeping on. Do you want to become roadkill? Maybe you already are roadkill. Well now, which one is it? I clenched my chest. I felt I needed to answer somehow and communicate my intentions. So, finally, I managed to let a short groan escape my lips. I see. So you want roadkill yet? And that was how I met Ikuko. Is that how Angie met Hachijo Toya? Wait, I'm so freaking confused. The patient's body is in a very frail condition. Some sort of memory loss is very probable as well. We won't know for sure until the CT scan, but there may even be brain damage. It's lucky that damage is all we have to deal with. Any longer in a spot like that, would likely have been much worse. True, in any event, I recommend getting this checked at a large hospital. What the fuck is going on? Thank you, doctor. Please keep this off the record. It may not be much, but here's some money for your troubles. This also has like a freaking parallel to whenever Kinzo took OG Beatrice Castiglione to Nanjo to have her get treated there. Like that's what, like now it's another Beatrice getting treated. I see no reason to speak of this needlessly, but no, I couldn't possibly accept that much. In the end, the doctor took the money and swore to keep quiet about the matter. Eventually, Hachijo returned. Oh, you were awake. How do you feel? I nodded weakly, letting her know that it wasn't so bad for now. But where is this place? A room I have absolutely no memory of, and a house I don't remember at all. And first and foremost, here's a woman I've never seen. To start off, let me introduce myself. I'm Hachijo Ikuko. What? Feel free to casually call me Ikuko, or act more formal and call me Hachijo-san. Hachijo Ikuko. The Hachijo family owns a large amount of land and is fairly famous in these parts. Unlike my accomplished brothers, I'm what you might call a little eccentric. I got into a bit too much mischief, and my parents finally ran out of patience and kicked me out. I'm now confined to this house. As a hobby, I like to read detective novels and also to write them. My age is a single woman's secret. My heart is that of a girl, but I'm approaching the point where calling myself one has become increasingly absurd. With the haze my mind was in, it was extremely hard to make out what she was talking about. However, I was able to pick up on the fact that she was trying to cheer me up. So, what's your name? My name. Logically, I know that being a human, I must have a name. Oh, I guess Hachijo Toya doesn't have her own then. Okay, or neither does Amakusa, who also was in this episode. And I do have the feeling that I did indeed have a name. However, no matter how hard I tried to remember what it was, it just made my head hurt. Can you remember anything besides your name? Who am I? My head. No, even my heart was a mess of tiny flesh. And I couldn't remember a thing, not even who or what I was. But I must remember. I had some kind of purpose, or maybe a mission. In order to remember I first have to remember who I am. Who am I? What is my name? Where was I born, and what was my birthday? I need to remember something. Anything. age. Age? That's my little secret. 18. I look like I'm 18? I'm 18. Oh, so that was your age. Well, now, I thought you were being a bit too flattering. That's fucking hilarious. Okay. When I asked myself how old I was, the number 18 floated into my mind. To be honest, the number 18 felt a little bit out of place. My mind felt much younger than that, and my pathetic body felt much older. I see. So you're 18. And that's all you can remember. I nodded weakly. I never knew that knowing nothing about yourself could make you feel this powerless. In that case, until you remember your name, let's give you the name Toya. What? What the fuck is going on? What does Ikuko mean then? I forget. Educated child, sustaining life child, birth/life child. Okay. So multiple meanings. Hachijo Toya. What do you think? Wait, I'm so confused. Is Angie Hachijo Toya? What? Yes, I must say I'm impressed with myself very much with that one. Hachijo Ikuko gave a satisfied laugh. From then on, I took the name Hachijo Toya. My inability to move my body was apparently due to a traffic accident. On that day, I had been hit by a car, and Ikuko picked me up from where I lay on the street. If she hadn't hit the brakes, she probably would have driven straight onwards, thinking she'd run over a dead dog or something. Later on, perhaps rudely, I suspected that the one who hit me might have been Ikuko herself, but when I saw her completely undamaged front bumper, I gave up on that theory. Yeah, because you jumped, Angie. Remember who you are. Come, try to remember. Hachijo Ikuko lived in a small but lovely mansion on the top of a small hill in a village with a view of the sea. She also owned the hill behind her and was more than capable of enjoying the 4 seasons in privacy. As the time passed slowly, my rehabilitation continued and my ability to move improved little by little. However, it seemed like I really did suffer some form of brain damage. Finding out who I was looked like it would be a very difficult task. In the beginning, when I couldn't bear not knowing my identity, my head often hurt so much it felt as though it would explode. However, as I slowly accepted the fact that I was a new person with the name Hachijo Toya, the headaches became less frequent. The whole time, no memories returned to me except the fact that I had been 18. However, I was unable to remember any more, unable to even be sure that 18 was my true age. And eventually, I just stopped trying to remember my former self. Good morning, Toya. That was quite the storm last night. Were you able to sleep well? I had some trouble falling asleep, so I decided to read your manuscript. Oh, my. How far did you manage to get? I finished it. Oh, now there's a surprise. You managed to read through all of that in a single night. I'm surprised too. Once I got into it, I finished it before I knew it. It was like I was just skimming it, or maybe I was taking in each page with just a glance. It sounds like you have some talent at speed reading.
So, how was it? What did you think of it? I liked it a lot. Still, if you don't explain the part about the ocean currents a bit more clearly, it might be a little unfair for a detective novel. Oh, but I thought it was great that you had the foreshadowing with the ring right there in the beginning. After I finished, I had to go back to the beginning and slap myself for being so easily tricked. I think giving people that feeling is what detective novels do best. Did I say something to offend you? If I did, do you have my apologies? Of course not. Why are you apologizing? I'm just shocked, that's all. Your detailed opinions are worthy of praise, I believe. It seems you have some talent as a critic or a detective novel writer, too. A detective novel writer? A critic? From across the fog of oblivion, I seem to remember myself fighting and arguing about mysteries or something like that. That way of fighting, which I must have learned in the past, sent a surge of excitement through me. Mystery. Fighting. My head hurt. I took a painkiller and swallowed it with fresh water brought up from the well. Who am I, really? But no matter how much I thought, I couldn't remember. From what I've been told, the frequency of the headaches might be lessened by brain surgery, but there was no guarantee that it would do my memory any good. Ikuko said that she would let me have surgery if I wanted it. However, I refused. Even if I can't remember it, the real me is still there, sleeping inside my head. Rest easy, sweet Beatrice. I was scared that the surgery might harm that me somehow. By now, I've gotten used to dealing with the headaches. As long as I don't force myself to remember the past, the headaches don't torment me every day. So, bit by bit, I became free of the headaches and got used to my new life as Pachijo Toya. Gradually, my interest shifted from myself to Ikuko. Hachijo Ikuko, a very strange woman. First off, she was apparently the daughter of a very well-off family, just as she had said. However, she was considerably eccentric, and the various mischievous incidents she spoke of had apparently gotten her within an inch of being disowned. As a result, she had been given this house and been ordered to live here quietly and alone. She had never been a particularly social person, so she happily accepted this new state of affairs, living however she pleased with servants to take care of her. She had no friends. No one ever came to visit. When I wasn't around, she only ever talked to an old black cat she kept as a pet named Burn. I don't know her real age. She doesn't seem to be too old to marry yet, but with an isolated life like this, she isn't likely to meet people, just like me. She sometimes says that she just hasn't met anyone worth the trouble, but I think she's already given up on marriage. Her everyday life was very simple. She would either read through the many detective novels that were brought to her, or else write detective novels herself. At first, I thought she was some novelist at a private retreat, plugging away on a new book. However, the manuscript she finished just ended up clipped together in a pile. With me as the sole exception, it didn't look like she'd ever let anyone read them. A novelist is someone who writes novels for people to read. So I figured you could hardly call her a novelist when she kept writing novels no one would ever see. Ikuku-san, why don't you show your novels to anyone? I show them to you. Only the better ones, of course. Haven't you ever thought of sending one to some publishing company? It's all just a waste otherwise, and your works are so interesting. My works can't stand up against the pros. I sent one once, but it was absolutely no good. I understand my position. This is just an amateur's pastime.
think amateur is a fitting word for someone who's so well versed in detective novels from all times and all across the world. Being a big eater doesn't necessarily make you a good cook. Reading every detective novel you can get your hands on is no guarantee that you're a good detective novelist. That's how it is. That's why this is nothing more than a pastime. Is it really fun to write novels you won't show to anyone? It used to be. Once. What about now? I like getting to hear your opinions. At any rate, I finished writing the chapter. I'll go make some tea, so would you mind reading it again and sharing your thoughts with me? Saying this with a smile, Ikuko thrust a pile of manuscript paper at me. I'm convinced that whether you read detective novels or write them, they're boring if you're all on your own. You could only find something really precious when you share that world with someone else. Headache. Toya, are you okay? I'll go get some headache medicine. I'm fine. I'm more interested in this manuscript. I can't wait for the new chapter. The seasons passed, together with Ikuko in this town whose name I didn't even know. Spent our days debating detective novels and talking about ideas for new plots. At a glance, they may have appeared to be stale and unproductive days. However, Hachijo Toya found satisfaction with this new life. This is totally fucking brain fucking me. I'm so fucked by this. And so, the curtain closes on the strange tale of Kurokubi Island. What does Kurokubi mean? I had to look this up. I have to see if it connects. Okay, there's a type of yokai called Rukorokubi. The end. With a dramatic flourish of her pen, Ikuko signified that her manuscript was now complete. What do you think? I tried using your plot to make Sujiko's tragic love scene at the end a bit more moving. I think it's very good. I'd say the last farewell is sad enough to make it moving as a story, not just a reasoning puzzle. That's all thanks to your plot. Compared to this work, everything I've written before is now worth little more than scrap paper. Even as I was writing it, I was excited to be the first person in the world who got to read it. I never felt that before. I just mentioned some ideas. You're the one who turned them into such a fascinating story, Ikuko-san. At some point, she roped me in as well, and I too started my journey in the world of writing detective novels. Apparently, the old me had some talent for mysteries and detective novels and the like, and my talent seemed to be of a fairly unorthodox kind. I tried turning famous mystery novels from across the world on their head, twisting those ideas into something new. However, a few ideas aren't enough to make a book. No meal is complete if all you can do is chop up vegetables. Thanks to Ikuko's writing, a skill she had built up over many years, my ideas transformed into a work of fiction. In this work, The Strange Tale of Kurokubi Island, the two of us merged the best of our respective personalities, and, though I hate to brag, it turned into a masterpiece that we could show to anyone without shame. Hello? Please bring us some champagne. Bring a glass for yourself as well. This is the best job we've done so far, so let's celebrate. Ikuko-san called for some champagne over the internal phone line. Joined by the servant who happened to be working that day, and the cat, Burn, we raised our glasses high and toasted our accomplishment. Ikuko-san, I have an idea, if you don't mind. Let's hear it. I love hearing your ideas. As long as I'm not in the shower or the can. Why don't we try submitting our book? I've never read anything this interesting before. I'm sure lots of other people will want to read it. You think so? I tried it once in the past, thinking the same thing, but the result was, I believe in your talent, Ikuko-san. What about you? Of course I believe in your talent. Then it's decided. To Ikuko-san's big debut. To Toya's big debut. We clinked our glasses once more. And on it went. Where is this going is the big question for me. Presuming Ichijo Toya to be Angie. We must have had way too much to drink. Before I knew it, I must have passed out on the sofa. There was a blanket covering me. Ikuko-san must have put it there. The lights were out in the study, but it wasn't dark. The computer's monitor was glowing. Outside, it had started to rain. It reminded me of the day Ikuko-san found me and took me in. Because of that, whenever it rains, I find myself wondering who I was, and I usually get headaches. So I wasn't sure whether the pain was because of the rain or because I drank too much. Ikuko-san, turn on the lights. Using a computer in the dark is bad for your eyes. Oh, did I wake you up? No, I slept well. I feel refreshed now. I turned on the light and looked out through the gap in the curtains. As I'd thought, it was the sort of pouring rain that always reminded me of that day. It's raining pretty hard out there. The wind looks pretty strong too. I hope the rain gutters don't get clogged with leaves again. I just cleaned them out the other day, so they should be fine for a while. Not the servants? Her answer sounded a little abstracted. Apparently her attention was absorbed by the computer. You've been pretty hooked by that computer lately, Ikuko-san. Did you find an interesting article or something? It may be juvenile, but it's still pretty interesting. It's about that Rokenjima incident. Rokenjima? Oh, I told you about the Rokenjima mystery a few days ago, remember? It's been really huge on the net lately. The discussions, the theories, and even the forgeries have become quite entertaining. Forgeries are stories all based on the premise that the yet another message bottle signed by Ushiramiya Maria existed and drifted to one of the nearby islands. Ikuko kept showing off her knowledge of the subject. However, a huge bell was clanging inside my head. The noise was so great that I thought my head would split open. Unable to tell what was the floor and what was the ceiling, I crumpled and clutched at my head. Toya, are you okay? My head hurts. The Rokenjima explosion accident. The many disquieting rumors surrounding it. The scheming of the relatives who were after Ushiramiya Kinzo's vast wealth and the hidden gold. And the truth? The Ushiramiya Eva, the sole survivor, said nothing. Eventually, everything would be inherited by the granddaughter, Ushiramiya Angie, who escaped harm because she was absent on that day. Angie, Ushiramiya Angie. I am Ushiramiya. No good. My head's getting split open. Incomprehensible scenes pierced my eyelids from the inside like blades of light. This is fucking crazy. Just what am I looking at? Who are those people calling to me? But Not by the name Toya. Who am I? Who are these people? What is this memory? Help me, Ikuko. Someone else's memory is hurting me. My head's splitting. What the fuck is going on? How does this fit into everything? I could hear the sorrowful sound of wind. And that must be rain. Who was I again? I am Ushiramiya. Angie, please say something. Voices calling to me. Dad and Mom. Can't be. In 1986 on Rokunjima, Mom and Dad.
Angie, hang in there. Can you hear Daddy's voice?
Please say something, Angie. Dad, Mom. I'll say it out loud. Dad, Mom.
Angie! Angie, thank goodness.
I could feel my body being lifted up firmly and hugged roughly. Mom and Dad were hugging me. My eyelids have been open for a while now. I could feel the light slowly returning to my eyes. Just like your eyes get used to the dark, my eyes got used to the light, and bit by bit, the scene around me came into view. However, it was an unusual sight, which seemed to be very far away. My body was being hugged by Dad and Mom. Dad was sniffling, his face covered with tears. There were tears in Mom's eyes, too, as she held me tight. It was so strong that it hurt a bit. They held me with all their strength. Me, the bad kid who wasn't obedient, who always had an excuse, who always tried to do the opposite of what her parents said. They held me tight to make sure I didn't head down the wrong path. As my eyes adjusted, I could see other people besides my parents. Everyone was there. George Oni-chan, Jessica One-chan, Maria One-chan, my uncles and aunts, even Sakutaro. And there was the witch, Virgilia, and Ronave, and you were fortunate. By chance, we found you drifting in the waves of the sea of emptiness. You were in a terrible state. It took quite some time to make you remember your true form. Beatrice. So this is...
the Golden Land. Your whole family has been waiting here for you to return.
We knew you would come home. Did I come home because I was supposed to? I've come back to how I'm supposed to be, and now...
No, you did come home.
That's right. You made it back here because you wanted to come home to us. Dad? Mom?
You don't need to...
Wait. That's Kyrie's voice. You don't need to say anything. You've been on a great and terrible journey, haven't you? A journey where you were all alone.
You understand now, don't you? You won't forget again?
I understand, Dad.
This is a place you can always call home.
I know. When I gave that answer, Dad and Mom hugged me again. Hot tears fell onto my face. They were Dad's and Mom's tears. I can tell by looking at you that you're far from all right, but I'm so glad. Glad you came home. Aunt Ava, feel free to hate me as much as you want. Give your dad and mom a million kisses. Give a kiss to everyone who cared about you so much. Aunt Ava. And say, I'm home to your other mother. Mom gave me a push from behind and I stumbled forwards. When you think about it, Goldenland is just the afterlife, and Rudolph can be saying that she can call it home always. This is making me sad. This is very bittersweet sad. This is very prophecy pilled. This is very Epitaph of the Witch pilled. This is very rest sweet. What's the last line? Rest easy, sweet Beatrice, or something like that. Towards my other mother. Ava, Mom. Angie-chan. If only I'd called you Mom on that day. I might never have messed up. We might have been able to create a new world together. That's enough. You've come home. You don't need to say anything else. Mom, oh, this is all. That's sad. Welcome home, Angie-chan. You're my adorable daughter. Mom, always and until the end, you were my closest friend. The two of them hugged each other quietly, burying their faces in the other's shoulders and sobbing. The truth wasn't worth anything at all. Yeah, I think it's sleep peacefully, my beloved witch Beatrice. I think you were right the second time. In the first place, the truth is always in the past. The point of the future isn't to learn what happened in the past. What really matters is whether I can truly live and prosper in the truth that is the now. If I truly live and prosper, that is the truth. Back when I only ever tried to see the truth of the past, I was nothing more than a ghost trapped in the past. Since that time, I haven't lived a single day. Now I truly understand. This is what the real truth is. I will live. And I've remembered how much everyone loved me. Because I was young and selfish, I didn't even remember until now. The kind grandpa who always spoiled me. The entertaining adult aunts and uncles. All the kind and gentle servants. It was always warm. And yet, because I was young and cruel, I never tried to remember any of that. Everyone got distorted by my irresponsible imagination, and I completely forgot the truth. Now I can remember clearly, and I understand. That Halloween quiz party certainly was an illusion. It never happened. However, didn't we do all kinds of fun things when the relatives gathered? Things that were no more or less fun than that party. And for the first time since the start of the game, I went up to each and every one of them to greet them, thank them, and apologize. To thank Grandpa for always pampering me. To thank my aunts and uncles. To thank the cousins for always playing with me, even though I was so selfish. And I thanked and apologized to the illusions. I think I said something horrible to Sakutaro once in the past. And to Maria One-chan too. Maria One-chan, you were really a witch, weren't you? I've always been a witch. You approached that level yourself once, didn't you? No. I never really understood. Pitiful Maria One-chan with her pitiful magic. That's all I thought of it. So I couldn't pick up a fragment of happiness. Couldn't even find one. Do you I mean, I don't know if you believe in the Kyrie Rudolph murder theory. I can't look into your heart of hearts. I think I personally believe in that theory. The island just did that? That's a good one. I think I need some more time ultimately to see if I believe in the Kyrie Rudolph theory. It's really going to depend on how Angie's story ends here. And that's kind of going to be how I depend on that. But based off everything I know right now, it really seems like there's no idea of really knowing what happened on Rokonjima, and that's fine by me. I fear Burn Castle only shows those things for very selfish reasons. And we do know, like, just the role of, like, Burn being the Witch of Miracles. We know she could find some pretty fucked up fragments like that. You told me that yourself once, Done-chan. It can't be helped. It takes two to create a universe. I had Beato, but you were all alone. No. If I had called Aunt Ava Mom, there would have been... Okay, I don't think she literally had to call her mom, but at least just, like... treat her like a mother. I don't know. I'm sure I would have been able to create a new world with the same magic you used, Maria One-chan. I personally like it better when I know what happened, but the decision is mine if I believe in it. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what really has been, I believe, to be, like, so important in Umineko to remember, is that nobody really holds a monopoly on truth. That's the awesome thing, that even 90% way through the way, you still have some reveals that may or may not recontextualize your theories. Oh, thank you, Bedwards. Shout out to Bedwards, the only person who has been here since stream number fucking 1. That is absolutely fucking nuts. You were like telling me how the mansion is like a real place, and I was like Googling that shit. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I had no freaking clue what I was embarking on. Ooh, the manga does show the canon event. That's interesting. All of it is my fault. The mansion is real. Yeah. It's in, I think it's in Tokyo. I believe it's in a park in Tokyo. Beatrice. The message bottles I threw away half-jokingly distorted your future and wore you down. I bear responsibility for that. Yeah, if I ever go to Japan, I'm going to the Yushirimiya mansion. Without love, it cannot be seen. Yeah, seriously. It's all because of your message bottles. Because of that, people started copying you and making forgeries, growing the story into something crazy. However, the message bottles thrown away by Beato did not name a specific person as the culprit. One of the forgers wrote a plausible forgery that had Ushirimiya Eva as the culprit, and it spread like wildfire. Even though I should have known better than anyone else that it was impossible, I accepted it in the end. It isn't your fault, Beato. No matter how many people around No matter how many people around me had baseless suspicions, there should have been only one truth inside of me. Yeah, I have, definitely. Because that's the thing about me, is like, I fear I'm like the most... I think my life, I have just become the most like fact-driven nut job of all time. I just need to like be a little goofier. I need to like have a little more like love in my heart. Like it's a very internal meaning. Oh gosh, share us your wisdom, Shakespeare. What I always thought that was so different about what you told me about yourself playing Umineko, Eric, is how much you talked about like looking, and I talked about it before. Yeah, I did solve Burns' puzzle. It took me like 5 hours though. Not all of which is recorded, but most of it is. Because I like started like a stream like 2 hours into me trying to figure it out. It was a whole thing. But I did get it eventually. It's funny because by the end of like my big like crunching it stream, I did have it right, but I still like reviewed everything one more time, and I thought about it and everything. I'm like, wait, it just makes a lot more sense for this to be Battler, Kyrie, and Rudolph. Like, I was worried that somehow it could be, oh, what if Rudolph is dead, or what if Kyrie's dead? But then I realized, oh wait, how could you even reasonably and logically distinguish between them? So it must be both, and it was good. And yet, so easily I abandoned my warm memories of you all and surrendered my heart to them. Yeah, I used like 3 hints. The one that really helped me was just the one that reminded me about the rule of the white text always being reliable. And that's how I was able to make sure Nanjo became innocent. Yeah, that was really what was fucking me up too. But as soon as I confirmed that like Nanjo and Jessica were innocent through the text, that's where I began to like be able to like be like, oh, this person's dead, so everything they say is truthful. Yeah, it's fucked up. Riddles are hard. I messed up so many of those riddles like in the goofy fun riddle part of this fucking episode 8 Crazy Fest. Like, I get it. This shit's difficult. No. If I had not thrown away the message bottles, the future of Rokunjima would have never become the center of such bizarre misconceptions. I bear responsibility for it all. True. That's right, it really is your fault after all. That's kind of fucked. Wow, it really is your fault, Beatrice. Damn. Put it that way, it's a little irritating. You do have your share of the blame as well. Yeah, you're right. Oh, you didn't think of multiple culprits? You see, that's why I checked at the very beginning to make sure I could select multiple people. I'm super glad that it all worked out for me though. Like, that was like my big moment. Like, that meant so much to me. Even though most people probably can do it, like, to some degree pretty easily. Like, I don't know, I just felt like I was putting it, and that's why I titled the episode Praxis. Like, I was putting everything I had learned into practice. Yeah, you're right. You were at fault, and so was I. Still, it'd be stupid for us to attack each other. After all, I'm a witch of the future. You're a witch of the past. I should be using that magic to build my future. We both bear responsibility in some way. No? I don't think Angie really bears any. I set my notes. OMG, they make me look insane. I'll look at them after stream. Oh, wait. Let me look at them. Let me peek at them right now, at least. Oh, you have paper notes. Okay, for some reason I thought this would be like a whole freaking thing. I thought this would be like mine, like multiple pages. Oh, this is your timeline. Did Maria see Rosa give her an umbrella? Yeah, you were just working with the tools you had, you know? Oh, it's funny. Shannon is born. Yep. The map. Love as madness, the soul element. Love as unity, Maria's happiness. The blue in the gray ocean. Sayo Yoshia. Are Shannon slash Canon the same person? For some reason, I would thought it was your notes were like my notes, which were like a big document. Oh wait, this is. I don't even have access to this fucking. Wait, this is my other Gmail account. Fuck. This is like my actual Gmail. My Umineko crack theories thing is like huge. What is going on with Shannon and Canon? God, what a fucking trip this has been. I knew. You'd be able to understand Mariage Sorciere's teachings, Angie. That's right. As the final member of Mariage Sorciere, it's my responsibility. Wait, why am I reading her like that? Fuck. That's right. As the final member of Mariage Sorciere, it's my responsibility to pass on One-chan's magic. I think it was all just somebody named Yasu who's actually sneaking in on the island. My magic can make everyone happy. Oh, that's all. Them, I suppose. Indeed. You have both pure magic and wicked magic at your fingertips. That's true. Magic can change completely depending on your heart. If you aren't properly guided, you can't use magic properly. And proper magic can bring people happiness. It is a wonderful thing. Bringing people happiness is the sole reason that witches wield magic. I am very pleased to know that those teachings have been passed down through the endless witches, all the way to the final witch. Sorry for failing to pass it down myself at all. Witch of the future, Angie Beatrice, I will now retract your expulsion from Marriage Sorcière. Woo! Yay! That's huge. We love that. Uryu? I knew Angie would come back. Oh, congratulations, Angie-sama. Yeah. God, it's so hard not to just really feel for her, though. Yasu is, like, her story is just incredible to me. But also, who didn't make imaginary friends? Or rather, still does. Like, at least, like, I'm just stuck in, like, constant rumination, personally. So I have no, like... I have no imaginary friends, because I don't even leave room to imagine fun things like that. So, couldn't be me. I thought I knew what the time we spent traveling together meant, and yet I... Sorry. I'm so sorry. Witches cannot create a universe unless there are two. In the future, you'll be alone. Will you really be okay? Yeah, I'll be okay. I'm not alone anymore. I'll live. With everyone. And I'll live in the future. I swear to keep living. Why couldn't she have just figured all this shit out like 15 minutes ago? Without love, it can be seen. With love, it can be seen. Fuck it. Maria One-chan's magic has saved me too. There are a lot of people out there who need magic. As the final witch of Marriage Sorcière, it's my duty to teach the right way to save as many people as I can. Will you truly be able to do so? Of course. I have the power to do it. There's the golden magic that my predecessor, Ava Beatrice, spent so much time building. I've inherited all of that, right? Well, if only my health had held out a little longer. I was planning to spend it all on myself. As Angie laughed, tears poured from her eyes again. Everyone surrounded Angie with their kind, warm smiles. Battler stood alone in the rose garden maze, letting the rain quietly fall on him. After searching for some time, Angie found him. Oni-chan. Angie, who was feeling guilty, sensed an anger in her brother's expression. Yeah, this is a real fucking tearjerker. So, she thought he was going to hit her. Yeah, I feel like Angie's trying to have her cake and eat it too. Like, she wants to, like, both know what happened on Rokkenjima and also, like, be dead because of it. I guess, I don't know, maybe she'll come back to life and that'll be the miracle. I don't know. I have no fucking clue where this story is going. However, her brother touched her softly. He patted her head gently. Hey. The truth wasn't anything important, was it? No, it wasn't. Even though you were here, waiting for me to come home in such a warm world, I had my back turned the whole time. You learned the truth. Yeah. So, any hopes any hopes you had someone miraculously surviving? What the fuck? Okay, so, any hopes you had of someone miraculously surviving and coming back have been crushed. They all are dead. However, you now have a new mission. A hope for living in the future. You kept that precious hope safe from me. I was the one who opened the box and let it get away. It turned out worse than Pandora's box. A truth I didn't even know flew out of the box along with my hopes, leaving nothing inside but empty space. That's okay. It's open now, and that's that. If it's empty inside, that means it won't fester. After all, false hopes can sometimes bring you pain. Battler laughed heartily. I have no fucking water. This is fucked. Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna cope with it. Then, with that same smile on his face, he told her, we're already dead. Yeah. You lived 12 years on the hope that we might still be alive. Battler, I have no fucking water. Umineko. I'm just tilted. I'm in the middle of the emotional scene. Damn, I'm fucking thirsty. Fuck this. Not anymore. That's over and done with. Yeah, I know. Starting now, I'll step forward into a new life. Beato put Rokenjima in the cat box. That joke. Oh my fucking god. The next witch, on Ava, guarded the lid of that cat box her whole life. You, the witch after her, opened that lid. But so what? Why does the truth of the past matter? Yeah, from now on, I'll truly live. And I'll make my own personal truth prosper. Good luck, final witch of Mariage Sorcière. I've read Maria's Grimoire. It's a great book, with some really good stuff written in it, and also her getting, beat the fuck out of. Even the Bible needs a translator. So Maria's Grimoire probably needs one too. You'll be that translator. This is just the moment. Grimoire or something became the Dragon Warrior. Yeah. He's just looking back and he's just seeing himself. You'll be that translator. You've got to teach kids who are in the position you once were. That's your mission as the new witch of the future. Yeah. I'm gone. But I'll always be behind you, watching over you. I know. And not just you. Everyone else, too. All of us will love you forever. Don't forget that. This is fucked up. My special interest is history. I don't know what to make of that. What the fuck? It's not just history. I love Umineko. I love Beatrice. I will be telling people for the rest of my life to play this game. Understanding of the future. I won't forget. Not ever, and that's for certain. Angie leapt into Battler's chest and sobbed. Oh my god. Oh, that's sweet. Okay. Humans are sad creatures who can learn, but not unlearn. Fuck yeah. God, this game is so... Rich people will just do weird shit with their kids. Jeffrey Ushiramiya. Oh, that's fucked. Humans are sad creatures who can learn but not unlearn. She had already learned. It may have been a cruel, terrifying, merciless thing, capable of destroying even the miracle called hope. However, there was still one tiny fragment left gripped in her hand. Her family's love. If she can just remember that and hold it tight, then surely Angie will live on. Umineko did not need to teach me that. Amen, brother. She'll be able to stop taking that single step into nothingness. Also, the Rokonjima cat box hasn't been opened completely. You've just taken a peek at what's inside. So, you must be the lid it yourself. Oh, that's so cool. You see, my lore is that I got my autism diagnosis while playing Umineko. So that's been my fun. It's fucking bizarre. I needed to confirm that shit. That I had to make that shit fucking red truth. It's fucking red truth. I'm riding it to the fucking bank. Big time. And this time, you'll protect everyone inside the cat box. Me and Dad and Kairi-san, the cousins and the uncles and the aunts. Yeah. Grandfather and the servants. And all the illusions. Yeah. This time, I have to protect everyone. Then shouldn't you hurry up a bit? Oh wait, then shouldn't you hurry up a bit? The sound of popcorn being eaten rang out from beyond a rose bush. It was Lambda Delta.
I think you know this already, but Burn is just about to hold a big party for the Book of the Single Truth.
Have you ever roleplayed as your imaginary self? No. I would never do such a thing. No, it's not sarcasm. But I'm also not gonna like yuck somebody else's yum, so like whatever makes you happy, like just do it, dog. Like I don't know. I really don't know. Because I only really control the freaking cells in my body. Like that's it. That's it. That's all I got. Everything else out of my freaking control. I don't know. That's my thoughts.
She's gathered beings from heaven and from hell, from the spirit world and from parallel worlds.
No, I just have lots of conversations in my head with myself. I don't really have like an idealized version of myself that I like pretend to be. Maybe I'm just a little too self-hating for that though. Maybe that's just my thing.
If she announces what she...
The fucking jumping from that is the fucking wildest fucking shit. This is the fucking craziest thing. I love this shit. Okay.
If she announces what's in that book in a place like that, it'll be all too late, won't it?
This is so fucking goofy. I'm going. I gave Burncastle that key. It's my responsibility. I'll go and take it back. A city of books, huh? There's no way for us to get in. There's a barrier around that place. She gave me this. With it, I can come and go as I please. Wait, gave what? What an idiot. She forgot to collect it when she threw me away. Angie fished through her pocket and there was a jingling sound. It was a bell with a blue ribbon tied to it.
That's it. One of those temporary entry passes that you got when you turn in your invitation. As long as you have that, at least one of you will be able to get into the city of books. Well, as long as someone takes you across the Sea of Fragments first.
No, she's not supposed to say first. Oh my god. That's terrible. That's breaking my Lambda Delta speech lore. Lambda Delta, take me to the city of books. Angie. This is my way of taking responsibility. I'll see to it that the Book of the Single Truth isn't made public.
Are you serious? That place is a den of monsters among monsters. Now that you've lost Burn's protection, you'll be weaker than a fly. Squish. The end.
The bell was snatched from Angie's hands. Lambda Delta, I'll go. I just need you to get me there. After all, I'm an empty creature, unable to exist outside the cap box. Angie, on the other hand, must live on into the future. You're a person with a future too. So I'll go. I have nothing to lose.
No, this is my responsibility, my way of making up for what I did. If I don't do it myself, the future won't change at all, and I won't be able to save any future cat boxes. Angie tried to snatch the key from Battler's hand, but Battler had no intention of giving it up. The two of them were grimly serious, but from the sidelines, it looked like an ordinary squabble between two close siblings. Lambda Delta watched this conversation and shrugged. If she just took one of them to the city of books, she wouldn't have to make any enemies, and there was no risk to her. All she cared about was which one would make the story more interesting, nothing else. But then, she finally noticed. Hold on. Hold on a sec, you two. Hold on. What's your problem? Save it for later. We're having an important sibling discussion here. Okay, first off, let's just let go of each other's hands. Battler's holding the bell right now, right? Jump, Battler. Jump? Like this? Jingle, jingle. You next, Angie. Try jumping. Why the hell should I? Jingle, jingle. Huh? Why? If Battler was holding the bell, where did that sound come from? Angie hurriedly searched through her pockets. When she did, another blue ribbon bell came out of a different pocket than the first one. Okay, what? These are the same, aren't they? No way. But why are there two? I was only given one of them. I don't know why. Well, at any rate, you've got two bells that'll get you into the city of books. Now, I don't have to sit here and watch the two of you play around with each other anymore. The two of them gripped their bells. I really don't like the implications of this. I really don't. This really fucking rubs me the wrong way. The pair of them gripped their bells and looked at each other. From the very beginning, this game has belonged to the two of you. There's just been a slight change in who the opponent is. This isn't a competition between the two of you. It's a fight between Battler and Angie, who want to close the lid on the cat box. And Burn, who wants it open. Angie has moved from Burn's team to Battler's team. I really don't need the freaking ketchup, Lambda. That's all there is to it. Lambda Delta, take us to the city of books. Okay, I'm just taking you there, got it? After that, I'm done being anything but a spectator. I just want to have the best seats to see exactly how you fight, what you do, and how Burn makes mincemeat out of you all. Lambda Delta, thanks. Please, I just don't want to fucking die. Umineko no Naku Koro ni Chiru, Nocturne of Truth and Illusions. Okay, that's where we're gonna end. Oh God. I don't even know what's going on with these two anymore. Those two exist in plot hell for me. Alright, gang, well, probably be back tomorrow. Unless there's, like, something that comes up. Who knows? Alright, see yous later.
Where's the end stream button? Bye.